57 Gold Radio, back again. Gary Cubetta from Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mish Shedlock from the Global Economic Trend Analysis, one of the top financial blogs in the country. Mish, you do a tremendous job with it.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
When did you start the blog?
I started in 2005, about February of 2005. Calculated Risk and I started at the same time. I was moderating, and still am, in fact, a stock message board on Silicon Investor. And one day, Calculated Risk, who just happened to be a poster on my blog, said, "Hey, look at this. This is neat. Google's got these things out there. They're called blogs. We can post our thoughts on them, and it's free." And so he started as his blog, and he actually created the first template for my blog, and we're the number one and number two bloggers in the country right now. Pretty cool.
Which is amazing because there's tens of thousands of blogs. It's very difficult for someone new in the blog industry or blogosphere to break through, and yet you're on top. So I'm curious, how did that transition happen from starting it to becoming number one?
Well, I think I'm going to be number one this month. The current stats show I'm number two, but I think I'm going to move into number one. I don't know. There's a lot of dedication. I certainly spend 16 hours a day at this. I do know that all the top bloggers do pour their hearts and souls into this. So, it's a matter of love. I don't think you do it for money or fame. I think you do it because you like it, and I certainly like talking about the stocks, the economy, and that. And I happen to be a good writer, but although I read some of the stuff that I first wrote way back in 2005, I kind of cringe at it. So, our skills all improve, and I can see it on the other blogs too. The quality of the work on the blogs beats mainstream media hands down. Our economic analysis beats mainstream media hands down. I'm invited to a seminar at the Kauffman Institute mid-month, and they invited the top bloggers in the country, and we're going to talk about these things and how bloggers can influence public opinion. I'm going to give a little talk about that. So it's been a lot of fun, but it's certainly been a lot of work.
And, of course, you've broken through to mainstream media. I've heard you many times with George Norrie on Coast to Coast, which is carried on some 500 AM stations across the country. So you've really broken through from just being with the Internet, which, of course, is huge in itself, to mainstream media.
Well, I don't know if Coast to Coast would be considered mainstream media, but it's an extremely popular show, and I'm very fond of George Norrie. So I commend him. He started from nothing and built a tremendous radio broadcasting network. I've been on the Eric